Stacy, can I come over after school? After school. Franz Ferdinand aren't really relevant anymore, honestly. But I thought I'd review the new album anyway, Always Ascending. I used to love these guys. Honestly, that debut album, Franz Ferdinand, is fucking great. Like, the dance rock tunes on there have aged so well. Dark of the Matinee, Michael, come and dance with me, Michael. Take Me Out is just like an indie rock staple at this point. It was a huge song back when it came out. And the whole album, honestly, wasn't just like a fluke. As in like, oh, they just had one good song and then everything else was shit. No, it was a lot of fun. I think for indie rock in the 2000s, you can't go wrong with Franz Ferdinand. I'm still fucking ill, by the way. It's been 2 weeks since that Migos review, right? And I got ill then, and I'm still ill now. Listen to my voice. Oh. But yeah, Franz Ferdinand. Not really cared about them for a long time, honestly. They are one of those bands that never replicated the success of the debut. There are plenty of bands out there that have done this. And Franz Ferdinand, I think, are in that pile quite in an obvious way. I know some critics praise Right Thoughts, Right Words, Right Actions in 2013, I believe that album came out. And yeah, the praise was fair. It was quite a good album, considering that they'd not dropped anything that good in a long time. And that was probably the closest they got to getting near their debut. But really, it's not an album I return to. It's not really an album that I care about. I don't think it was that great. I think it was just a good album. But this new album, it's quite weak, honestly. Like it is severely lacking in many departments. Like, lyrically, it is not good. Musically, there are barely any hooks. Like, some of the hooks on this album are just like laughable. Like, it's not like they're belting out like really fun things to sing along to dance along to. They're just kind of saying like random sentences and they're just thrown over the chorus. It's really quite strange. We're going to America. We're gonna tell them about the NHS. It's just like so weird. It's kind of funny too because Donald Trump recently mentioned the NHS in some kind of talk that he did. And it's just kind of funny that Franz Ferdinand have mentioned it here because it's like, well, they're probably aware of the NHS and all of its issues now, so I guess you don't need to go. But thanks, Franz Ferdinand, you know, for caring about the British issues and wanting to tell America about our problems. Thank you. The thought, the sentiment was there. And speaking of sentiments as well, the fucking Academy Awards song. This song, my god, it must be satire. Like, there is no way you could write a song like this and not be satire. The way the song is just so like lavish and it's sultry and it's so slow and over the top. It's just ridiculous. It really, I can't stand listening to it. And the chorus as well. Oh, the Academy Award for Good Times goes to you. You've got to be kidding. Like, no way did you just make a reference to the Academy Awards and make it like, oh, you're going to win the Academy Award. Because you're so great. No, don't do this. It can't be real. Like, this song is, oh man, it's one of the worst I've heard all year. But again, if it's satire, then maybe I'll give it a pass. But the way the song sounds, like, it's Franz Ferdinand. They used to make dancey, punky, like, rock songs that had so much flair and energy. And now they're going to shit like this. It's just... The track Lazy Boy as well, where he's just on about being lazy all over the chorus. It's just not a good chorus at all, like really redundant. The thing is that I could give Franz Ferdinand a pass in the lyrical arc of this album, because they've never been that great lyrically, honestly. They kind of made quite basic tracks, basic lyrical tracks, but they worked it around the fact that they could write such a good groove and hook. Like, they were so good at that. And you would think that, I know it's been like over 10 years since that first album, but you would think that they'd still have some of that in them. Like, they've done it before, so why aren't they throwing it in here? And the only time you get it is on the opening track. I do like Always Ascending. I think the manic delivery that the vocalist gives here is a good frontman when he does this kind of style. It very much reminds me of like David Byrne of the Talking Heads, like that kind of greatness, you know, like you do get a good reminiscent feel for that sound when you hear him do this. And even the instrumental on this track too is pretty groovy. It's just kind of all over the place, but it's done in quite a controlled way, which I like a lot. But that's it, that's the only glimpse that we get on this album. The rest of the album's kind of just flaccid and kind of stale, like, or even bad, like with the lyrics and stuff. It's just a shame. A few tracks are quite catchy. You do see yourself bobbing along, you know, to some of the the instrumentals, but really, it's just it's kind of like music for old people, which sounds harsh. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm young and old people are wrong, so they dance to bad music, but it feels like that. It feels like we're going into Arcade Fire's Everything Now territory. Like it's almost getting there, but it's not nowhere near as bad. Like this isn't an insult to Franz Ferdinand. Like they are not as bad as what Arcade Fire have turned into, but it's nearly borderline there. And the track that I think proves it is the song. Wait. Lois Lane is a track, and the refrain at the end of the song is like, at the over 30 singles night, it's bleak, it's bleak, it's bleak. Like he's literally referencing over 30s that are single. Like that is basically the embodiment of this album. Like it just, he describes the music so well, because it's literally like over 30-year-olds club music. Like it just feels like that. And again, I'm not insulting older people, and being 30 isn't even old anyway, but it just kind of reminds me of like a person who's like not really into music anymore and hears something on the radio and they're like, oh no, this isn't like it was back in my day. Back in my day there were great songs, you know? And like this is the album for those kind of people. Like it's just like really cheesy, corny, funky like pop music that has bad lyrics and barely any hooks. It's depressing. So yeah, Franz Ferdinand, not really relevant anymore, and this album is proof why they're not relevant anymore. They have lost the knack of hooks. Honestly, they really have. But yeah, it's a D plus for me. Not really into this. I'm sorry for my voice. I am ill. I'm still fucking ill. Jesus Christ. Let me know your thoughts on this album if you've heard it. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. Hit the notifications bell if you want to, and then you get updates so when I upload every time, because I upload a lot. Yes, and that is it. Have a good day. The Academy Award for Good Time.